stocking blocking.
Okay, try to speak directly into the mic, and, well, it'll pick you up from there.
Okay.
Hello, BB-8.
Try not to do this.
Super angry.
Yeah.
When people get passionate, they're
Wait
like,
till I get...
I always hear that on the podcast I listen to. Or
Do you?
like, yeah, people doing stuff with their hands or their
Well,
keys or...
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
Which
talked about
I
what,
fidget too, so...
ASMR.
I've heard about that. It's like light sounds that are supposed to elicit like responses. Is this on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to think, what should I tell you, or
Yeah, you should.
were you going to say something offensive?
No, but just not something I want.
Hello. Yeah, there's this guy on YouTube that I watch, and on his channel, he's a shoe shine guy.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that guy?
No.
So he works at a Nordstrom's department store, and he just shines people's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But I find it relaxing just listening to all the sounds. It's like
Well, you
It's
also
like this-
you have that background noise for when you work, so it sounds like a coffee shop, right?
I do.
Yeah,
I do, because it's hard to concentrate at home when there's kids and people talking and stuff like that. So when I turn that on, I can't hear any of that, and I just focus. Plus, I'm not good with quiet.
Mm-hmm.
If it's too quiet, I'll just fall asleep. That's what happens to
I
me.
like the sound of rain. Put that on sometimes to sleep.
Yeah?
That or movie soundtracks. I always have movie soundtracks on.
Really?
Yeah.
So just by your...
Even in class when kids are doing their work, I put on movie soundtracks and kids are like, what movie is this? Today was Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tense.
Yeah, the kids are like, this is weird. Like, they're like trying to look up advertising campaigns. They've got Interstellar going on.
They talked about that on a YouTube video about the sounds. Like, there's a name for that type of sound that they use now on soundtracks. What was it?
Not the
But
Wilhelm screen.
No,
No, not that.
No, I know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Interstellar, was it Interstellar where they had like that low rumbling sound that repeats itself like over and over again?
Yeah.
Same thing with Dunkirk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same thing.
They said it like builds tension.
Yep.
So and it does.
Yeah, it's cool. In Interstellar too, for the for one of the songs, when they go to the wave planet, and so time's differently there. So actually, in the music, every single tick you hear in the music, because there's a soundtrack going on with the tick. That's a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the music actually has something to do with how much time is passing by, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think they have the ticking in Dunkirk as well.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah.
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 Because I was looking at different soundtracks to use for when we did Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And we're doing the Dieppe invasion. So I was like, okay, what could build tension? So I looked at those movies, right?
I'll do it. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Hans Zimmer's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the new Lion King, just for him to redo the soundtrack, because he won the Oscar for it the last time. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does with the remake, because I know he redid the
Elton
entire
John
soundtrack.
who did the
songs,
a bunch of stuff.
He did some of the lyrics and stuff, but Hans Zimmer was the composer for the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and he won the Oscar that year for it. Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of movies,
Yeah.
Mark here is, would you say like a movie freak, or is buff like a more appropriate term, or
What's above buff? Like, is there anything higher?
Movie obsessed?
Yeah, definitely. It's
Obsessed.
been an obsession. Like I've spent easily a car's worth of money on movies. Yeah, my movie collection. Yeah.
Are they all DVDs? Blu-ray?
Combination DVD, Blu-ray, 4Ks. I mean,
VHS?
4Ks. I still have my VHSs.
Nice.
Yes. I don't think I have a VHS player anymore.
Yeah. No.
But I have all the VHSs, and yeah, mostly it started out with DVDs, obviously, and then when the formats changed, upgraded to Blu-ray, and then now 4K.
Do you know how many are in your collection?
Easily over 1,000. I think I'm sitting at around 748 Blu-rays, about 302 DVDs, and about 86 4Ks right now. Yeah.
Do you use like the Dewey Decimal System, or like once you get up to the certain point?
It has to be alphabetical. It's by format and then alphabetical by title.
Format and then title.
Yeah. So all the Blu-rays are together alphabetical, all the DVDs are together alphabetical, and then all the 4Ks are together alphabetical. Yeah. Or else it takes you an hour to find whatever movie you're looking for. Even alphabetical, it's tough sometimes.
And if you've ever spent time with Mark, like over lunch or something, we have lunch together a lot, right? You would know that he's really into movies. But what people might not know is that he's actually written a book about movies.
You're published?
That's how obsessed he is.
No, I published myself. I think I sent it to you actually a little while ago.
You sent me, I think you sent me like the challenge.
Yeah. So, it was my New Year's resolution 2 years ago to watch at least 365 movies in a year. I easily did it.
Movie a day keeps
the doctor away. I don't know.
Does something.
Probably doesn't do that, but
maybe the opposite.
Definitely the opposite. But I easily did it. I surpassed my goal.
Really?
Like it wasn't even a challenge.
Wow.
And then so I would keep a tally of every 10 movies. I would rate them all out of 10, and then I would do a review for what one I would recommend out of those 10 that I watched. And so I did that all year. Every 10 I would review, actually a written review for one. And then at the end of the year I did top 10 and worst 5, I think. And I wrote reviews.
I've got questions.
Go.
I don't want to take over here, but I've got questions. Go. So my first question would be, how did you go about selecting the movies for that project? Was there criteria, or was it just whatever you wanted to watch? Or
it was pretty much whatever I wanted to watch, but the one rule was I had to watch the whole movie for it to count. So if I didn't like the movie and I turned it off halfway through, or if I fell asleep halfway through, I wouldn't count it.
Okay.
And also I wasn't I could watch, because I rewatch movies all the time. So if I saw a movie in theaters and then I watched it again in 3-4 months when it came out on video, then that would count for 2 separate times. Not just one. So it was just 365 movies. It didn't have to be 365 different movies.
So there were some repeats in there?
There were definitely some repeats in there, yeah. And I watch my favorite movies all the time, over and over.
So did you watch movies every day then, or would you just load up on the weekends? Or
there were some days obviously I couldn't watch one every single day, so I'd miss one day, and then I'd watch 2 or 3 on the weekend or something, or if I was just doing work or something, I'd have an afternoon of movies. I think my record was 7 movies in a day. Yeah.
Do you ever get tired of it?
There were periods where I was I don't really feel like watching a movie today, but I just kind of struggled through it, but not
you
really.
Could probably have a string of really bad films. Then
there was definitely the 5 worst ones that I saw. I was just telling Miss Goltz that I got paid to go see one in theaters, and it was terrible. It was so bad. I wish I paid not to see it.
Do you know what it was?
It was XXX: The Return of Xander Cage.
Okay.
And
I didn't like the first one, so I can't imagine.
I didn't either. And I took I was doing respite with. He really wanted to see it so I took him to see it in theaters, and it was so bad.
Was Vin Diesel in the second one?
Started questioning.
No, I think the second one was Ice Cube.
Oh no!
I think he took over in the second one, but he was back for this third one, the Return of Xander Cage.
I thought he only did children's films.
Yeah, no.
So at that point, you were questioning your life choices.
Everything, yeah.
But it didn't stop you. So
it did. I just
project.
I moved on.
Now, which were the ones that you repeated the most?
The one I watched the most that year?
Yeah.
Probably either Logan.
Oh yeah.
Or Blade Runner 2049.
That's good too.
So this was recent.
Yeah, this was 2-3 years ago. Yeah, it was when all those had just come out, brand new.
Is that the newest Logan, where he's old and broken?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't actually seen that.
Yeah, Old Man Logan.
I would like to.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And the Blade Runner, is that with Ryan Gosling?
It is.
Yeah. See, I've seen a part of that, but I haven't watched the whole thing. I should watch that too.
And I thought it would be absolutely terrible. because Blade Runner, I love Blade Runner, and I was I don't know about a sequel to Blade Runner. How are you going to do this? The first one's so good, and I actually like the new one more than the original. Mm-hmm. Part of it's because I just a really big fan of the director now.
Denis Villeneuve.
Yes,
yeah.
He's done
The Arrival.
Arrival. Also, he's doing the new 2-part Dune movie.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Prisoners, another really, really good one by him.
Right. Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, and Paul Dano, Jake Gyllenhaal, and then he did another really good one with Jake Gyllenhaal called Enemy. That was before Prisoners. That was a smaller movie, but really, really good. So big fan of his.
How often would you say do you hit up the theater to see like new movies?
I once a week. If I can go. If there's no movies in theaters, then I don't.
Do you go to the same place usually, or do you go to different places?
I live pretty close to Silver City, like Riverport. So like I can leave when the movie, like the showtime's starting, and get there before the movie because of the 20 minutes of commercials that are now. I actually timed it when I saw Avengers on the weekend, and it was 21 minutes of commercials.
It's ridiculous.
7 car commercials. So yeah, if I leave at the posted showtime, I can get there by the time the movie starts.
Do you have you tried the landmark where you sit in the recliner?
Yeah.
I can't go to movies any other way now.
It's pretty tough. Yeah,
I've never tried that.
Oh, it's
awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I've tried the vibrating seats, but
the D-Box. I can't justify that anymore.
No.
Paying the like $5 more just so my seat kind of
'cause
makes
these
me a
are
little bit
just-
more uncomfortable.
I don't think it costs any more than like Cineplex, the landmark ones.
No.
And you pre-select your seat, so
And
you don't
so
have
much
to get there
leg
early,
room
and you tons of legroom in front of you. And
Which
just
theater is that?
recline up. Landmark Cinemas.
where's that?
There's one at Guildford Mall. I think there's one at New West SkyTrain, and I don't
Yep.
know about others.
Oh, okay.
There's not. I think there's 3 or 4.
And they have leather
around.
seats for the same price.
Yeah, fully
Wow.
recliner, like feet up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty,
Sometimes I
pretty
take
nice.
my shoes off.
Yeah. Why
So,
not?
but when you recline, the person behind you.
No, they leave there's tons of room.
The
Really?
theaters are big, but there's not a lot of seats in each
Yeah.
theater because the seats are massive and there's
Okay.
tons of labor.
And you reserve them.
And
Yeah.
you reserve
It's
them.
definitely worth
and
it.
it's like
Definitely.
the same price. Yeah, I think pretty much.
I gotta
Yeah,
try
it's
that.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah. So, what would do you have like a movie ritual when you go to the movies? Is like, do you get like the same snacks or just roll
usually
in
go no
the
snack.
water bottle and
Yeah, I usually bring my own water bottle, and that's
just
it.
watch it?
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, not a huge like. If
Snacks.
somebody else gets popcorn, I'll eat some of it, but
Yeah,
not huge on popcorn when I go to the movies.
It's so expensive.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
very
It's
expensive.
But it's so
the
good.
price of the movie, basically the same. So
Yeah.
no. If I do bring a snack, I usually get like Sour Patch Kids from Safeway or something and sneak them in.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
sneak and go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you go by yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love going to movies by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you go see the blockbusters, or can you go see any movie?
Any movie. I mean, I saw Avengers Endgame twice last weekend, so definitely
Right.
go to the blockbusters. But I'll go see anything. Yeah, not too picky usually. So
Fascinating.
Has this happened? Like, have you been doing this for a long time? Like, did you grow up like watching movies with your parents or something like that?
yeah, I've been obsessed with movies since as far back as I can remember. Like in elementary school, when I first started collecting them, I started renting them out to like friends and family.
Right.
So I actually charged people. I had made my own cases and stuff to like rent out and stuff. Yeah. I've always been obsessed. Like I started, like I said, collecting VHSs, and then it moved on to collecting DVDs and then Blu-rays. And
Did you ever work at a video store?
I did Videoland in Ladner. I worked at Videoland. Yeah.
That makes me happy. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I guess it's probably not there anymore because
It is not, but-
because you'd probably still be there.
I also them going out of business was also kind of a blessing because Blockbuster as well as the Videoland. So there was 2 locations, one in Ladner, one in Tsawwassen, and when they went out of business, they had like a
Massive
everything
sales.
must go sale.
Oh, right.
And so I just went in with shopping carts and
Yeah.
just cleared them out. Like even Blockbuster, the very last day they were open, it was just like $1 for anything in the store. So
Wow.
I bought the whiteboards off the walls for $1 each. Like they wanted everything gone.
Wow,
That's awesome.
kind of sad,
Yeah.
but interesting.
So yeah, some
It's
of my
sad, but you got to keep up with the times.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. But yeah, no, I really liked working at Videoland. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they still have video stores?
There's a couple I know of. Like
I know
not
Videorama.
many.
Videorama I used to visit in Vancouver. That was an interesting
Yeah.
store because they had all the foreign movies and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
see, it's
And
mostly
now-
stores like that.
Yeah.
Specialty movies and stuff that you can't really find on Netflix and stuff.
I know they rent DVDs. There's a place in Langley by the mall there, but it's more video games they sell there. But they do still rent DVDs out of there, I know.
And I think that like red boxes are still around, but
Videorama, I think, is now inside Zulu Records, which is really interesting because both like older format type of stuff.
Yeah,
for collectors.
I'm telling you, physical media will make a comeback.
Well, records
sitting on a gold mine.
Yeah. Well, they still produce records, right?
Oh, big time.
Once in a while, yeah.
They're expensive though.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
So, you like all types of movies, or are there certain genres?
Yeah, no, not picky with the genre either. I mean, I have
rom-coms.
I don't mind. Like Forgetting Sarah Marshall is one of my favorite movies. Actually, like I find that hilarious.
Documentaries, whatever.
Yeah, I like documentaries. My favorite genres probably be like sci-fi though. Love sci-fi stuff. Big fan of horror too. Like horror movies. But yeah, no, definitely not picky.
What's a good horror movie? Because I've seen a few, and some of them are like there's a lot of jump scares and gore.
Yeah, I don't like the ones with just jump scares. I like a lot of the older horror movies, like The Exorcist, one of my favorites.
Oh,
Shining.
That one definitely freaked me out.
Even though I like the book, I think is a lot better than the movie. For
it's different though. If you look at them separately, I think they both stand on their own in different ways.
Definitely.
Yeah, and Stephen King hated The Shining. So.
Yes, he did. Yeah, but like Stanley Kubrick,
but it's still
some amazing movies. But and then like Rosemary's Baby, still I think that's a great movie. Yeah. Newer ones like I really like Get Out. Thought that was really good.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
We were saying we didn't think it was really a horror movie.
I mean,
you've seen it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely is not traditional horror movie. I saw his newest one, Jordan Peele's newest one, Us.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't as big of a fan of that one. I had quite a few problems with it.
Us, is that the TV one?
More like a horror movie.
No,
it was on Netflix.
No, it's still in theaters right now.
Us.
Jordan
Family, they've got like clones.
Oh, the clones,
with, like scissors coming at them in the commercials.
Yeah. Which I thought like it had a pretty good setup, and then it kind of fell apart for me. But and then another really recent one that I really liked was Hereditary. So I thought that was really good.
What about It?
Yeah. I thought it was good. I mean, it's one of my favorite books, and it was pretty different than the book, which it's a hard book to adapt. I don't know how anybody could do it that well, but I thought they did a really good job. I'm really excited for the second part coming out this September because Bill Hader's like one of my favorite comedians and actors right now. So I think that will be pretty interesting with him being in it. But yeah, I thought it was good.
Cool. Yeah. We were just talking. I don't know why John and I were just talking about like horror movies, weren't we?
We were.
I thought so.
I don't remember this.
No, maybe that was somebody else. No, it was somebody else. It was I was talking to Trevanna about horror movies last week. That's what I was thinking of. Because I don't know how we got on the topic, but I think Trev was mentioning watching something, and I said, "Oh, I used to watch horror movies like 20 years ago, like with my wife, like now wife." But then I think both of us just got kind of tired of kind of that genre, and then she really started. And I think in that as we got a little bit older, that sort of genre of like really gory, like was like Hostel.
Yeah, just the torture stuff.
Yeah, like the torture horror movies, and she was like didn't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
And we just kind of stopped watching them. But I did watch. Someone had told me a year ago or something. They're like, "Oh, even if you don't like horror movies, you should watch The Cabin in the Woods."
Yeah,
and I did watch that, and I thought it was okay. But I was like, I didn't see because a few people were like, "Oh yeah, it's great. Like it defies like genre, and it's so good."
I rewatched.
And I watched
it,
and I was like, "Oh, I don't know, it's okay."
I thought it was good, but again, rewatching it on Saturday, I was like, okay, it's got a couple issues, but I think was it Josh Whedon? He wrote that with Drew Goddard.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and it was around the time that like I was super impressed with the first Avengers movie and what Josh was doing. But
and I have to admit, I think I've only seen the first Avengers movie. Which is, I know.
Oh, you have some catching up to do.
I might have watched the second
that came out in 2012, right?
I remember it, and I remember it being a big deal. And I remember kind of thinking, I haven't seen many, I have to admit, I've seen all the Batman movies. I really enjoy those.
Yeah.
But the superhero stuff, like, I definitely saw, like, Iron Man 1 and 2. I remember that. I remember, like, the first Hulk movie or there was two, weren't
The
there?
one with
They were
Eric
kind of the
Bana or
same.
Edward Norton?
Both. I saw both
Okay.
of those. And then it kind of trails off. And I remember the first Avengers movie, watching it and going like, oh, that was really fun. Like, I like that. And then I don't think, that's kind of it. But my kids have been watching them on Netflix. They've been watching, like, they've seen Captain America and Black Panther, and they've been watching the newer ones. And they just watched Infinity War, like, a week ago. And they were like,
Nice.
You have to take us
need
to
to
this
see
movie.
the new one. Yeah.
Well, there've been so many that sometimes, like, they kind of blend for me. I don't know which ones I've seen and which ones I haven't. I think I've seen all of them.
I don't think I've seen a single Thor movie.
Right.
I know. I'm not against. It's just not my favorite, like, superhero stuff. It's like I could kind of take it or leave it, but I usually enjoy it when I watch it.
Ragnarok is a good one because it's very different. Right.
What have I seen? I saw Captain Marvel over spring break because my kids wanted to go to that, and I actually really enjoyed that for
Really?
like a standalone.
Did not like that.
I liked it. I liked the setting. The first 10 minutes, it was like aliens on distant planets, and I was like, "Oh god, this is going to be like the longest 2 hours of my life." Good thing I'm sitting in this recliner right now. Because, but then once they hit Earth, and I'm not going to give anything away, but once they hit Earth, I was like, "Oh, actually, it was fun," and it was set in the '90s, and it had a really cool soundtrack. It was all like '90s, like female, like rock, and I was like, "Okay, this is fun." I enjoyed it.
Actually, my favorite thing about that movie is she wears a Nine Inch Nail T-shirt for the whole movie, and I have a 9 Inch Nail tattoo. So
nice.
I was very, very happy with that.
We'll have to come back to that later.
But I actually just rewatched the Avengers last night too, the first one. And while I was watching it, I ranked all the movies in the MCU.
Oh wow!
In order
That's quite a list.
that I enjoyed them. Yeah, so
maybe you could pass it on to me, and I'll.
Is this in order?
That's in order from my least favorite to most
least favorite.
Yeah,
I was wondering.
The Incredible Hulk is at the bottom of the list.
Why would you
Anna?
put that top?
That was with Edward Norton.
Oh, the Ed Norton one.
Yeah, that's the one considered in the MCU. The Eric Bana, Ang Lee one, that had nothing to do with the MCU.
Right. It was kind of a standalone. But then the Edward Norton one was pretty similar, if I remember correctly.
The Hulk's
I made sure not to watch that one.
Yeah, the Hulk's an interesting character because like he's actually not allowed to, because they don't have the distribution rights. Universal does to the movie. They can't make a standalone Hulk movie for the MCU right now.
Oh, okay.
That's why his contract has him only showing up in other movies. So that's why he's just
that's interesting.
A part in the Hulk and in Endgame and.
Okay. Yeah, I started watching Guardians of the Galaxy once. And
that's a fun one.
That's my favorite. I think my favorite.
That's a lot of fun.
It seems like something I should like.
It's the most I've ever seen a movie in theaters. I saw it 11 times in theaters.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
I saw it a lot because I used to live in South Surrey, and there's 2 little movie theaters right there. And they're really cheap, and nobody ever goes to them. So
you should see that. It's a fun
You
one.
can always go.
Yeah, I remember starting, and
comedy.
then something happened, and we stopped it, and then I never.
So
went
you've
back
got Guardians, and then the Avengers: Infinity War.
Yep.
And then Ragnarok.
Civil War, Guardians 2, the first Avengers, and then Endgame, and then Iron Man.
I liked Iron Man.
Yeah. And I mean, like none of these would be possible if Iron Man didn't succeed. If that first one failed.
Right.
So.
I remember way back when they were talking about making a Spider-Man movie in the 90s.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't, I guess the first Spider-Man came out in the 90s, right?
2000?
2000, okay.
I saw those.
Yes,
I remember seeing those.
Right, because earlier in the 90s, I remember them starting to talk about it. I was like, that'd be so cool, because superhero movies up to that point, there's Superman.
Yeah, well, and it was like the was it the Joel Schumacher Batman one where they put the nipples on the bat suit and
Michael
they had Mr. Freeze.
It got
Arnold,
really bad at
one
one point. Yeah.
Full of terrible puns. Nice to meet you and
Although I did enjoy the first Batman with the Tim Burton one.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. I like the first two. He
Jack
did the
Nicholson?
first two.
Did Tim Burton do both? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he did Batman and then Batman Returns.
Yeah.
The second one was with Danny DeVito with the Penguin.
That was Val Kilmer, right?
Yeah.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Did he do the
first two?
And then Val Kilmer's the third?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Clooney was
And
the one
George
that you were talking
Clooney,
about, the really bad one, right?
Yeah. Batman.
I remember
Robin.
going to see that actually in the theater.
Me too.
It was a big deal because
Yeah.
Jim Carrey was in that. It was like
Yeah.
Uma Thurman and like
They had Bane in that one, and
They had Bane in that one?
Bane was like a henchman in the one with Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze.
I must have blocked that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were bad.
It was awful. It was kind of like
silly.
the show.
Yeah.
Like the show was meant to be silly.
Yeah.
Right? The
It was Adam West.
60s?
the original series,
60s,
but
70s?
but it had such a charm to it. Right?
Yeah.
Like I really
still
liked
watch
that
it
when I
once in
was
a while,
kid,
and
yeah.
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's slapstick comedy.
Dialogue is
Yeah.
he's so serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many life lessons. So then I maybe you can't answer this, but do you have a favorite movie of all time?
Forrest Gump.
Okay,
Really?
I've got three that I kind of go back and forth, but they're all from the two from the 90s. One's a little older, but mostly it's either Forrest Gump, Jurassic Park, or Jaws for me.
Yeah, great
those are my
movies.
top three.
Yeah.
Those I just keep going back to. I mean, Forrest Gump I've watched, I don't know, easily over 50 times.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
yeah, I've seen it a lot. Anytime it's on TV, like no matter what I'm doing, I have to watch the rest of the movie.
Just out of respect.
Yeah, and it's actually being re-released on 4K in 2 weeks, so I'll be buying it for a fourth time. I don't know.
Wow.
Have to have it on.
What's your favorite movie?
I don't know. If pressed, I usually would say probably The Big Lebowski.
So good.
But if I really thought about it, I don't know. Yeah, and since I've had kids, I've watched way less movies, and I don't know if it's just because of like time. I think too
It's
it also
probably
has to
time.
do with, but the rise of there's so much good TV now in the last like 5 to 10 years.
True.
Because around that time, that's when like I started watching like Dexter and Breaking Bad and like shows like that, and I think that took away, instead of watching a movie on a Saturday, it's like, watch a couple episodes of whatever. So I feel like from the ages of from my teens to about age 30, I feel like I watched a lot of movies, and then it just really stopped.
Switched to TV.
Yeah, it really kind of dried up. And I've seen a lot of kids movies in the last few years. But now my kids are into like superhero kind of stuff, so it's getting a little more interesting. But Big Lebowski, I really like. Train Spotting, I think that's a brilliant movie. I like a lot of Kubrick stuff, like you said. I really like The Shining.
2001. Space Odyssey?
Yeah, I always thought that was a little bit too out there. Like it was a little bit. It's not an easy movie to watch.
No, it's not.
It's
not.
But I like it for what it is. What else? What's the one? I had a poster in my room of it when I was a teenager. The really violent one. What's it called?
The really violent one. That narrows it down.
No, the one from the book. Oh, this is bad.
The one from the book.
The novel.
This is really good for the podcast right now. People are turning it off.
We can edit this out later.
2001, I remember as a child, my dad bringing that VHS tape home.
Yeah.
And man, it was so slow.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I was a little kid.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
If you're a kid, yeah,
I was like,
it's
what?
not the most exciting movie.
Well, plus, it's like, what is going on? There's apes, and then there's this black thing that drops from the sky. What's going on?
Yeah.
Right? I had no clue. I was completely lost.
Clockwork Orange. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. That's a little violent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another great Kubrick movie, though.
But I like that movie though.
Yeah, they actually just re-released 2001 on 4K six months ago. About that, Christopher Nolan actually oversaw the transfer of the 4K. Yeah, and they actually re-released it in certain 35 millimeter theaters. So you could. There's one in Vancouver. Trying to remember what street it's on. But I went and saw the 35 mil print of The Hateful Eight a couple years ago when they did the Roadshow edition of it. So there was like the intermission and stuff, and they play the overture at the start of the movie with the musical themes and stuff. It was really, really cool. Yeah. It's one of my favorite movie experiences of the last couple of years. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, especially that movie. Like, it's so long that it was nice. Everybody could go out and get snacks, but it was cool. Like, you could see everybody just like turning to people next to them and talking like, "Oh, what do you think's going to happen in the movie?" and stuff. And like, you didn't know the person, but yeah. So it was a really cool experience. Yeah, I kind of wish more movies had that intermission now and the let's all go to the lobby and
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
The hot dogs thing.
dancing hot dogs and popcorn. Yeah, so I remember going to like the drive-in, and they used to do it at the drive-in too.
Well, it makes sense because it's money for the business.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
What's John? You haven't given us your favorite movie.
Yeah, it's tough. Citizen Kane's usually up there, just for what Orson Welles did at that time.
Yeah,
and I've been to Hearst Castle, so the whole Hearst experience, and then watching that movie was like, you see like parts of that castle in there, and what a like kind of a the life that newspaper tycoon lived, right? And it's understandable why he got that movie banned, because it was banned for quite some time, like 20 years or something, before it finally came out. Because I think it was made in the late 30s or early 40s or something. Just for his first movie, all the technique that's in there is just amazing. So there's that. I really liked Brazil. Have you seen Brazil?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I thought that was a fantastic movie. Logan, I love.
Oh, it's
such a good movie. Yeah, there's quite a few that I've watched over the years. And at one point, I went through the top 100 classics or whatever list and watched quite a few of those.
100 Days?
No.
Forget it then.
No, I didn't watch 100 movies either. I picked and I chose. Like there were some movies I ended up not liking and not finishing. So
yeah.
I have one more movie question for Mark. Okay, so you were so quick with your favorite movie ever. What about? I'm not going to ask you the worst, but favorite guilty pleasure movie ever.
Favorite guilty pleasure
movie? The movie that you're embarrassed to admit that you love and have probably watched 37 times.
Oh, that's tough. I don't know about that one.
Like a stupid movie.
Could be. Yeah.
Okay, could be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great movie, but I've watched Old School a ton.
Okay. Yeah, that's funny.
But I mean, like everybody I've talked to likes Old School.
What is there a movie that unanimously everybody dislikes or got really bad reviews that you really liked, like something like that? I have one in mind for myself that I've taken flack over. Van Helsing.
You like it?
Why? But I really like.
Oh, that's a movie. I love that movie.
But it got terrible reviews, and all my friends, I made them watch it because I got the DVD when it came out and made them watch it.
That was I still remember seeing that in theaters. Like that was Stephen Sommers. Like that was his time because he had just come off The Mummy.
It was very campy. And
exactly.
Silly.
Which it was trying to be that
really
though. I thought. Yeah. That's a great movie. I haven't watched that in a while. But because I was like around 12 when that came out, and like the first Mummy came out, or not the first one with Boris Karloff or whatever, but the Brendan Fraser one, and that came out in '99, so I was 9 or 10, and I remember seeing it in theaters, and like I just loved that movie. I was obsessed with like Brendan Fraser and stuff, and then they didn't really get any better after that.
No.
So,
Wasn't there just a new one with Tom Cruise, or is that part
it's not part of those, but there was a new Mummy, but
that was supposed to be part of a series,
the Dark Universe for Universal, and they had already cast Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man, Xavier Bardem as he was going to be Frankenstein's monster. Like they had a whole arc planned out for all these characters, and that movie bombed so hard that they just went back to the drawing board.
Really?
They're like, no more.
I don't think it was that bad.
I didn't know that.
I didn't think it was that bad. Yeah, but especially on rewatch. Like now, I watched it 8 months ago or so again because I have it because I can't help myself. But
I have a problem.
But it's not as bad as the first time I saw it in theater. I was pretty disappointed. But I tend to do that. Like any movie I see where I don't like it right away, if I keep rewatching it, usually I'll find certain things that I like about them.
Find the good.
That's the problem I'm having right now with the Avengers Endgame.
Right.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
No, definitely not.
So you're into music as well.
I am.
How did you? If we go all the way back to your childhood,
okay.
You watched a lot of movies.
Yep.
You were at some point you were in a band. I hear.
I was. Yeah. That didn't come until.
Oh, that was in like
the end of high school. Yeah, I didn't start playing music at all until grade 8.
Nothing.
Guitar class. Yeah.
Okay.
So I started grade 8 guitar. slowly learned guitar, and then I went to DSS in Ladner, and Mr. Dobrovoni, who's still there.
Yes.
Chris, he made a little recording studio in the guitar room that certain kids were allowed to go into and record. So I started doing that and just like kind of recording my own songs and writing my own songs and stuff. And then, after high school, just found my brother-in-law, actually. He was the lead guitar player. I was rhythm, and then found a drummer and a bass player. And then we started, writing our own music and doing shows and stuff. And we recorded a EP. And did that for 5 or 6 years.
Where do I find this?
It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify. Yeah.
What's the name of the band?
Between Takes.
Between Takes.
Yeah. So there's again a movie reference. Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a 5 or 6 song EP on iTunes, Spotify. I also have like physical CDs printed. But we used to play shows downtown all the time. We had like merch and stuff. Actually, I had a big Spock, life-size Spock cutout that he would sit at the merch table and demo our shirts for shows. That's awesome. But I did that for a number of years.
And how was the rock star life?
Tiring. It was tiring, like, because I was working construction. So I would do that like in the day, and then we'd have a show at night. So be like hurrying home from work and then packing all our stuff into the van, driving downtown, setting up, because you have to like sound checks usually like before the club opens, right? So you have to get there at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So you're loading, setting up, doing sound check, and then you kind of leave for a couple hours until it's showtime. You just come back, play, pack up all your stuff, and go home. Leave.
Sleep for 4 hours and go to work.
So it was tiring, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
And you wrote your own songs.
Yeah, I wrote all of them, all the lyrics, all the.
You were the writer. You were the composer.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice.
So, that was fun. Still write some songs and stuff now, but
I know you performed at the 50th.
Yeah, I did. I did one original, and then I did 4 covers. But like I have a YouTube channel that I used to upload covers to all the time. So I do like there's like Katy Perry on there and stuff. Like,
cool.
Yeah, I'm not picky with music either. I'll listen to any genre as long as it's catchy and I actually enjoy the song. I'm not picky. So.
Well, there's so many ways you can do a cover, right? Covers are so interesting because I mean there's a group called Scary Pockets, and they do funk covers. There's Postmodern Jukebox. They do swing covers of all sorts of popular songs.
Follow one group, and they just do like string instruments and strictly instrumentals, but of different covers, and they're really good. They're good just to have on in the background and listen to when I'm doing stuff. So
I quite like covers because it's a different take on a good song.
Yeah.
So how do you compose music? Like, what's your process? Do you do it regularly? Like, do you have to do you have a routine? You wake up early in the morning and you know?
No, I mean, all the songs that I've written, usually I write in like 5-10 minutes. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like if I try to sit down and force myself to write something, a lot of the time it's like writer's block. Like nothing will happen. But I'll just like sit down and all of a sudden, I figure out a chord progression I like or something, or a little riff, and then usually it's pretty quick that when a song comes together. So I find the harder I try, the harder it is to write it, and the songs that I actually figure out how to write, they're pretty quick and easy. So
don't overthink things.
Yeah, don't overthink it. And
that's a good motto for life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's the thing about people who are creative, I find.
Yeah.
You can't make them do anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why a lot of times I've noticed the creative people that I know in my life, they have a harder time sticking to deadlines and getting organized and things like that because they need to have that space.
Yep.
There's something about that to free them up to actually, I don't know, to be inspired by some random thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it definitely helps not having restraint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You said you're a big Nine Inch Nails fan. What other kind of music?
Other
are you
genres or bands?
Bands, artists.
Huge Trent Reznor fan. especially now, like that he's moved into a lot more composing. So he does a lot of movie scores and stuff now, which I love. Like I always have one of his scores usually on in the background, because he also did a lot of Nine Inch Nails stuff. He's released a couple instrumental CDs. So yeah, Nine Inch Nails, loved them for years. I really like a band called Biffy Clyro. Love them.
From the UK, I think, right, or Scotland or something.
Yeah, I think it's Scotland. Yeah,
I think
yeah. But they're recording a new CD right now, so pretty excited about that. But yeah, those are like the two big ones. But yeah, like I said, not super picky, so I'll listen to anything. But I've always just find myself coming back to Nine Inch Nails. Yeah,
that's cool. I just saw a thing with Jonah Hill on a talk show, and he was talking about his new movie. Was it called Mid-90s, I think?
Yeah, Mid-90s.
And he got Trent Reznor to do the score for that, I think.
Yeah,
he's
been a busy man. Well, because he won an Oscar for his very first movie score. Like, he did The Social Network and won right away. So, yeah, him and Atticus Ross.
Was Seven his first? Or in Seven they used the music from Nine Inch Nails, right?
Yeah, but Social Network was the first time he actually composed the entire film.
Scored it,
scored the movie with Atticus Ross. But yeah, Nine Inch Nails has been used for tons and tons of movies. But yeah, he huge collaborator with David Finch, or David Fincher, who did Seven and Social Network and Gone Girl. Yeah, hasn't made a movie for a long time now, unfortunately.
He did Fight Club too, right?
He did. Yeah, another great movie.
He's taking a break. He needs a space.
Well, he was developing. So he developed the Mindhunters TV show for Netflix.
Oh, okay.
So he was involved with that, and then he's been developing the World War Z sequel for quite a few years with Brad Pitt, but that just got canned. So now he's.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a sequel.
Yeah. So there was supposed to be, and then he signed on to direct it, and then just a year or so ago, it got announced that Dead in the Water. So. That won't be happening, unfortunately. Because, his last movie was Gone Girl, which was like 5-6 years ago. Yeah. Great. I love that book, too. Such a good book.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a book.
Yeah, Gillian Flynn.
Yeah, I think Nine Inch Nails, too, there hasn't been a lot of Nine Inch Nails music, but I know they did tour, I think, last year.
Yeah,
nowhere near here.
No, the closest they've come to here in the last couple of years was one of the music festivals.
Squamish or...
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was a while ago,
Pemberton?
Yeah, that was like 10 years ago, I think.
Yeah, they've had one arena tour that I went to. I was on the floor for, and that's the best concert I've ever been to in my life. Was that the
Coliseum one?
No, it was at GM Place, or Rogers Arena, I guess now. I always call it GM Place, but it's Rogers Arena.
Was that with...
Explosions in the Sky opened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not what I'm thinking of. I saw them at the Coliseum. When would that have been? I want to say probably 2005-ish, 2006 maybe, with Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh, that'd be a good
one. My brother was a huge, still is, Nine Inch Nails fan, and he's seen them a bunch of times, but he saw them at Rogers Arena with A Perfect Circle. But that was probably maybe 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
And he's seen them in the States and a few other places.
I would love to see a Tool and Nine Inch Nails show. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I've seen Tool. Yeah, pretty intense show.
Yeah.
Yeah, all white stage, just white backdrop, white. The actual stage itself was white. Even the floor of the stage was white, and they were projecting images onto the floor.
Well, doesn't Maynard Keenan face away from the audience?
He stood in the back.
Yeah.
He stood behind the drum set, off to the side, and he didn't move. Yeah. And he just stood there, and he just did his thing from there. And he did turn his back a few times.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's very enigmatic.
Yeah. Well,
or introverted.
He's been he has a couple wineries and stuff now that he's been doing the past decade. Yeah. So very interesting guy. But,
very intense show.
How'd you get into teaching?
I've been involved in just recreation for a long time. I taught
Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, exactly. Another great show. But I worked at the Boys and Girls Club for a couple years. I worked for the Corporation of Delta when it was still called the Corporation of Delta. Now it's the City
So
of Delta.
that point you hadn't gone into teaching, or you weren't
just
thinking about it yet?
Yeah, so right out of high school, I worked construction for a little bit, and then saved up a bunch of money, went over to Australia and Thailand, traveled for 10 months around there, rented a house in Melbourne with a couple friends and stayed there for a while. And then came back and obviously had quite a bit of debt from traveling for a long time. So went back to construction. Was doing concrete cutting, which I don't recommend to anybody. And yeah, I had a couple mishaps. Got hit with a crowbar off of a high rise.
Oh, gee.
So that wasn't fun.
It fell on you?
Yeah, so in the winter when it gets really cold, we need to go around on the job sites and check that the water lines haven't froze. So because we need water when we're cutting the concrete. And so I was checking a line, bent over, and a crowbar fell and hit my back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and obviously nobody was going to fess up who did it. So,
like someone just dropped it.
Somebody just dropped it. Was working above and
Yeah.
just didn't yell anything. And so it hit my back, and so that was fun. And
Was that like a trip to the hospital, or
no? I just had a big bruise.
Yeah.
And yeah, couldn't stretch out my back or walk straight for a couple days. But so I had that, and then I had another mishap where we were cutting out a big concrete wall, and we forgot to put any pallets or anything down, so when we push the wall over, it won't crack all the concrete on the ground. So my boss was just like, "Oh, just run under there and put some pallets and stuff." So while I'm doing this, the wall starts falling, and so I have to jump out of the way. And so after that, I was like, I can't do this anymore. One, I hate it. Two, I'm going to die. And so I quit that, and I was like, okay, what do I want to do? And
couldn't open a video store.
Couldn't open a video store.
The dodo, right?
Blockbuster was going under.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So I was like, oh, what do I like to do? And I was like, well, I like sports. I like having fun, and I like working with kids. And so started doing my sports science diploma at Douglas, and then that turned into my bachelor's of physical education and coaching. And then that turned into applying to PDP at UBC, and just went from there. Yeah.
What sports did you do growing up?
Hockey was the main one that I did the entire time.
Play hockey. Huh?
Oh yeah, love hockey. So I did roller hockey, like ice hockey. Even did spring hockey. So I'd go and do like the 3-on-3 at the NTR in the summers, and then I played baseball in the summers. Played lacrosse, soccer, and then I slowly started to whittle those down, and just eventually stuck with just hockey. It was just too much, just missing too much of one sport to go to the other one. So
you played right into like your teens then?
Yeah, played all the way until I aged out for hockey. And then I still play every now and then. I played in the spring league for quite a few years with the same team. We were the Delta Ladners. We had plaid jerseys with a tractor on the front.
Love it, yeah. Yeah,
so did that for quite a few years, and then all my teammates had kids and slowly started to not show up to the games. Yeah. It just got more difficult as we got older. But
that was ice hockey, right?
Ice hockey, yeah, just for fun. But so I'm joined a new team this year for spring hockey, so that's starting up. So that'll be fun. But
great.
Yeah.
How long have you been teaching?
8 months.
8 months.
Yeah. I finished PDP in July of last year.
Oh, okay.
Or last summer, and then started 4 weeks later here. So
nice.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, just thrown right into the deep end. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've handled it well.
And it's been good so far?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been fun.
It's been everything that you thought it would be?
Everything I dreamed of. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been fun. But no complaints.
And you're an AD as well, which is a huge job.
Yeah. So a
lot of people try to avoid it.
Yeah, well, I've been told. Oh, yeah. My student advisor last year at UBC, he was. I had two. One was the department head, and one was AD. So I knew a little bit, kind of what to expect and what went on. But
what do you do as athletic director?
I'm registering athletes for sports. Answer 100 emails a day. Scheduling the gym. Yeah, if anybody wants to, run a practice in the gym or rent it out for the night, people are going through me. Even facility, I don't always know why some of the things are coming through me. Like, I get asked if the cafeteria is being used for certain things. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, so, I mean, that's the big thing, scheduling, registering athletes, just making sure, where kids are entered into stuff. Like, we had a couple kids go to track and field meet yesterday, so making sure that they know where to go and what to do. Keeping track of jerseys, trying to track kids down to pay their fees. All the fun stuff. Yeah.
Doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. And then, I mean, running all the activities after school. So basketball season's the big one. I mean, you need a lot of people for a basketball game. You need people to run the table, score sheet, shot clock. You need to make sure refs are showing up.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with volleyball. I reffed a lot of volleyball this year. I've never reffed volleyball before in my life.
But when there's nobody there, then I guess you're the one.
I was just kind of looking at Mr. Lobman being like, okay, do this hand signal. Okay. So I was kind of just doing that. He was kind of reffing from the sideline while coaching, and then I would, just kind of mimic whatever he was doing. But, it's fun. So it's kind of like the job I did before, being a rec attendant. It's very similar to that. I mean, from 3 o'clock on, you're just in the gym making sure the activities are running. So it's kind of familiar in that way, but it's been fun.
You've learned so much, right?
So much. Yeah, so many hand signals for volleyball, and but no, it's been fun. It's been a good year. It's gone by like that. Like, I can't believe it's already May tomorrow.
Year, it's flying.
It's insane.
Yeah, always after spring break it flies by.
Yeah,
there's almost not enough time to finish whatever we want to finish, right?
Yeah.
But it's good. Mm-hmm. So what kind of things are you? I mean, you're starting off your career of teaching. What kind of things are you looking forward to?
In teaching,
are you interested in doing more leadership type of stuff? Like, you already have the AD.
Yeah.
I mean,
that aspect. I love the outdoors, so I would love like an outdoor education class. I think that would be awesome. With that would be a lot of leadership stuff. So that's my favorite thing, especially like team building games and stuff. I love doing team building games. More of that area, more of the outdoors and stuff. But love to go and do some camping trips and stuff. Like take a hike every Thursday. I'm always jealous that they're off doing some awesome hikes and stuff. And, and I saw that like they were at Golden Ears Park this week and stuff. I'm like, oh man, that'd be awesome. Yeah. So.
I've seen them set up in the metal shop with all the equipment that they get.
Yeah.
All donated gear. It's good gear.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that'd be really cool. So
it's great for those kids.
I did quite a few during my undergrad outdoor education classes. So like we did trips to like Widgeon Creek like overnight and stuff, and that's one of my favorite day trips around here because you get to not only paddle, you get a good hike, and then you can go swimming at the falls too. So that's out in Pitt Meadows. So I do that like a couple times every summer. But just more trips like that would be fun.
Are you thinking of starting a club or make it into a course?
I mean, a course ideally. A club would be fun. I also would love to have a course on analyzing movies. Last year at Semiamu, they have a class about movies. So I sat in and they were watching Bridge on the River Kwai. And so watched a little bit of that and then kind of saw what they talked about and stuff. So I'd love to eventually have a class like that, just analyzing scripts and movies and stuff.
I remember talking to a teacher about a film course she was running at, I think it was at SDSS or DSS.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's something that has happened before.
Yeah. Like
there was a
I think that would be awesome.
On film course at ND, I think, for a while. I don't know if they're still doing it, but looking more like from like the historical perspective of like war movies and stuff. Yeah,
like I would love to do something like that. I think that would be really, really fun. Yeah.
An outdoor films course.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be
Hey,
interesting.
I have an outdoor screen. I have a portable projector. So
It's all about taking all of your talents and skills and interests and combining them, right?
exactly. Yeah. Actually, when I was younger, we because I live kind of out on the farmland in Delta, and we had a giant barn right next to our house and our property. So we had a huge field and then this giant barn. So every summer we would put up a giant screen on the barn, and we would invite all our friends and family and to bring their cars, and we would do drive-in movies and stuff. So
Did you
That's
curate
awesome.
and choose the films?
I had a little bit of say, but I mean, we mostly did the classics. So we did like Jaws, we did Psycho, we would do The
Another good
Birds,
one. Oh, yeah. Hitchcock,
Jurassic
that's
Park,
another
yeah. So it was always like classics like that. I think we did the Brendan Fraser Mummy one year. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. We actually won a radio contest for JRFM one year, and so they came too. They brought us like a barbecue and ribs for everybody and
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
So yeah, that was really, really fun. But they ended up moving the barn because it's a heritage barn. It's actually they moved it to Ladner Trunk in Ladner, the Harris Barn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at the McKee House there.
Yeah, I know that one.
So that barn used to be beside my house. Out in
that's
Ladner.
I
interesting.
think I've been
Okay.
there, actually.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
it
rent
looked-
that place out.
It looks
now
a lot
for
nicer
meetings and
now
stuff.
than
Yeah.
it used to. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Is that the one right on Ladner Trunk by the golf course, kind of?
No, this is out like more on Arthur Drive down towards like the coal ports and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Cool.
It is.
Yeah.
I feel like this podcast could go on for like.
It
12
could go on
hours.
for hours.
It's scary.
I mean, we spent like half an hour talking about movies, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you. You're wearing a
Star
Boba
Wars?
Fett. Yeah.
Well-
what do you think of the new Mandalorian show they're coming out with?
I think, isn't it already out?
Not yet. No.
Okay. And it's on the Disney.
It's going to be on the Disney streaming service. Yeah, Disney Plus.
I have no idea. I have no impressions about it because I don't have the Disney Plus. I would have to get it to see it, and I'm not sure I would do that yet. 'Cause
Really?
I already have I have Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like Star Wars, but I don't have to be watching it 24/7. So,
What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Empire Strikes Back. It's got to be Empire Strikes Back. The
That would be
characters.
mine too.
Empire's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that.
Not the Phantom Menace.
No. No, what were those? What's episode 1 to 3? I don't think they exist in my books.
Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, that was the
And then-
most tedious, I think.
Yeah. Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
Where did Jar Jar pop?
Jar Jar was a Phantom Menace. He
Oh
was,
my goodness.
Yeah.
And
There's
then it was
so
the
many
Clones.
things
was
wrong.
that the one where they had that like intergalactic like political session for like 2 hours?
There's a
Yeah, the
giant
one with
lightsaber battle.
that you can see E.T. in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was tedious. Like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't like the look of it. It was just too clean. It wasn't like the old Star Wars. And then the dialogue was horrendous, right? The
Yep.
script.
Well, I think George Lucas wrote all three
Yeah.
of those ones, right?
Yeah. I don't know what. There's something wrong.
What did
with
you
it.
think of the new ones?
It's okay. The first Force Awakens, it was. I don't mind nostalgia. Like some people hated
fun.
that,
I liked
but
it.
I enjoyed that.
I thought it was okay.
Fun. The
It
movies.
felt very safe, and it felt like
Yeah,
it was
totally
just
safe.
For sure.
basically kind of almost a retooling of A New
Of
Hope.
A New Hope, yeah.
Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
just which is like exactly what it was for the new generation.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I really didn't like The Last Jedi.
Oh, I did. I
I
thought it was
could
enjoyable.
not stand that one.
What didn't you like about it?
How much time do we have?
A bit of time.
I got
There,
5 minutes.
there was a few things I didn't like about it. I didn't like what they did with Luke. I didn't like his arc. I thought I was.
Are we allowed to spoil this? It's like old, right?
It's old. This is
Yeah.
not a spoiler.
The hologram part, that was kind of cool, right?
Was it though?
I liked it.
Was it?
I thought it was kind
Was that worth sacrificing himself for? Like my whole thing was,
Yeah, I don't know.
I had just been waiting since Return of the Jedi to see Luke do something awesome and like actually see like what he was eventually going to become and all this and stuff, and then all we got was he became a
But maybe
ghost.
that's the
Well,
point.
he's more
Maybe-
powerful now.
But maybe it's not about Luke, it's about Rey. Maybe that was his purpose, was to put her on the path.
I don't know. I just wanted to see him do something cool.
To be the true
Something
hero.
cool.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been more cool if he wasn't a ghost in that final part, and it was actually him, and just they couldn't take him down because he was so good. But I don't know. It just seemed like the entire plot of the movie was we ran out of gas, and how you could use hyperspace like to just fly through other ships and destroy them. Why didn't anybody do that with the Death Star in the first one? I don't know. Just
Technology.
I'm too
They were chicken.
I'm too nitpicky, but
They didn't have a
yeah,
battery
certain
range.
things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a nerd.
Yeah. I mean, out of all the new ones, my favorite were Solo and Rogue One.
You liked Solo?
I loved Solo.
Really? I liked Rogue One.
I really enjoyed Solo. I'm not
One was
sure
A
why.
little boring,
but-
actually.
Solo? Rogue One.
Solo.
You thought that was boring?
Oh, I really like Rogue One.
I like.
I can see it being a little slower.
I
though,
liked
yeah.
parts of it, but it was. I think maybe because it was like different characters, and it was kind of like, oh
Yeah.
It told a good story. Like
yeah.
it filled in the blanks well, but I was kind of like, where's the Wookiees?
Yeah.
I think, like, Force Awakens, there's a bit of nostalgia. We were all waiting for that. But I think after that, it would have been nice to just work on the new characters.
Yeah.
Like, they brought back Luke, and they
Yeah.
tried to do something with him, but I didn't think even that was
I'm more
necessary.
of a casual fan, though, so I think maybe that's why it's just I'm there just for like the entertainment of the one-off kind of like
Yeah.
you know, and it I thought it had that.
Yeah.
There was enough cool things to keep the attention going. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Well, it's been nice talking to you. We spoke for an hour about movies and sports and music. So I think that, and I know that you have a lot of talent, and I'm hoping to see you on the stage a lot more. Maybe at the next Live at Lunch, because you did miss one, and then you performed at the 50th.
Well, you were sick, weren't you? Yeah.
And man, you were good.
Oh, thank you.
You were really good. Were you there?
I was there. There was a lot of shocked faces because I think a lot of
Yeah.
people had no idea you played, and then it was like, where did this guy come from?
Yeah.
How does this PE guy know how to hold a guitar? What's going on?
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus. Yeah. Yeah, and my talking voice doesn't really sound like I'd be able to sing. So
It's deceiving.
it is.
You got a lot of talent. Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
it
great
was fun.
time.
Awesome.